Welcome to this Arnall-Culliford knitwear tutorial on pleats. What we love about knitting is that whether you've been knitting for 5 minutes, 5 years or even 5 decades, there's always something new to learn. In this tutorial I'm going to show you 3 easy steps for adding a pleat to your knitting. So first of all, we need to look at what a pleat is. A pleat is a fold in your fabric that is joined perpendicular to the fold line. So we have a fold line down here and the join in this pleat is along the top, perpendicular to the fold. The parts of the pleats have special names. The front is called the overlay, inside is the turn back, and the bottom section is called the underlay, and they lie over each other like that. You can just fold your stocking stitch or whatever stitch pattern you're using, but if you would like to add a bit of extra structure to your pleat, you can use slip stitches to help the fabric to fold in the direction that you want. So here we are set up for a right folding pleat. We have the underlay, the turn back and the overlay. Between the underlay and the turn back we have slipped a stitch with the yarn in front, which makes the fabric ready to fold as we want it to. And between the turn back and the overlay we've slipped a stitch with the yarn in the back, which helps it to fold in the correct direction. So step 1 is to set up your fabric ready for your pleat. In the turn back you have a set number of stitches. Here we have 8. In the overlay you then also need 8 stitches. In this swatch we have 2 extra stitches that won't be involved in the pleat. And the same goes on the other side. We've got 8 stitches in the pleat and 2 on the end that won't be involved. So we knit across until we come to the turning point. And here we're going for underlay to turn back. So we bring the yarn to the front between the needles. We slip the stitch and we take the yarn to the back between the needles. And then we carry on working across the turn back section. When we reach the overlay, we simply slip the stitch with the yarn at the back where it already is, and then work to the end of the row. You then need to purl back. So I've purled back along the row and I've knitted the first 2 stitches, which are the ones that aren't involved in the pleat. What we now need to do is to slip the pleat stitches onto 2 double pointed needles so that we can fold the fabric ready to join them. So the 8 underlay stitches are being slipped onto 1 DPN, 4, 5, 8, and then the 8 turn back stitches will be slipped to a separate DPN, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I've got the stitches not involved, the underlay, the turn back and the overlay, and we then fold the fabric as we want the pleat to lie. So it's a forest of needles at the moment, but you then just straighten up the tips so that they're all parallel, and now you're going to use the working needle to knit through the first stitch on all 3 pleat needles. Wrap the yarn round and pull it through. So putting the working needle through all 3 pleat stitches, wrap the yarn round and pull it through. And you work across in this way until you've joined all 8 of the stitches that are involved in the pleat. Of course, you can use pleats to give some fullness to your fabric, so you start with more fabric than you require and then you join them with a pleat to narrow it. And there are some really great designs out there that use this technique. Like Vera Valimachi's turmeric top, or Kate Davis's Manu cardigan. When you're doing the last stitch, just be careful because that one sometimes wants to slip off the double points. There you go. You can put the double points down now as we've joined all 8 pleat stitches, and we will finish off with the last 2 from the overlay. And now hopefully you can see that we've made a nice pleat in our knitting. It's all joined at the top perpendicular to the fold line, and you can carry on working the rest of your fabric. So the 3 steps for adding a pleat to your knitting are to set up your fabric with slip stitches if you want, to slip them to double pointed needles so that you can fold the fabric, and then to join them together using the technique of knitting the stitches together onto one needle. We hope that you've enjoyed watching this tutorial from Arnall-Culliford Knitwear. Do look out for our other videos, and why not try something new today?